So, Canada, I thought I'd host a Q&A here, and I know my channel isn't the biggest in the entire world, so yeah, it's not going to probably produce a lot of questions, but if we get some rolling in, that's going to be a plus. I mainly want this video to be an update, talking a little bit about the channel and its future, and also a little bit about what I'm doing today. So today I have some fun events planned. I am teaching a new course and it's in a new subject. I published my 19th course a couple days ago, and I'm working on my 20th online course. So I've been doing that for a little while, and I'm very happy about it. I'm very excited to be teaching people around the world, and also I don't just use my time teaching paid courses. I've made the recent writing course, how to do freelance writing for free. So if you look me up on Google, the first or second link that appears is Udemy. You'll be able to enroll in my most recent free course before I make it paid. So right now I'm answering questions for international students of all walks of life from all around the world. And I'm very excited to be doing that because I've actually made 6 videos today just answering questions. I went through all the questions on my channel and I said I would answer a lot of them, and I left a lot of them just answered in the comment section, but I wanted to make individual personalized videos for people. So as you can see right now, if you look at this, these videos are rendering and my face looks kind of funny here, but let's see. As you can see, I'm actually rendering like 6 videos right now. So the best food in Halifax, videos about going to Nova Scotia Community College, and somebody named Sanjay asked me about how to get jobs in Halifax because there's so many students that might be taking them. And I've rendered videos about driving in Halifax, and also one video for people who are moving to Toronto because I'm from Mississauga. I was near Toronto for a lot of my life. I was able to answer that. So that's a lot of content for international students, and I'm actually publishing all this content today. Every single person on YouTube is doing upload schedules. They upload a video, and then they kind of see what happens. So instead of doing that, what I'm doing is I'm actually producing as much value as possible and simply uploading it all together. So turn on my notifications using the bell icon down below, and it'll be much easier to access my content. But if it gets annoying, don't unsubscribe, just turn off the bell icon. And then you won't have to get flooded with my videos because I make 5 to 10 a day. But it's valuable, it's worth it. This is worth it right now because we're building a community hub. Hey Rahul, thank you so much. I really appreciate that, and I'm so happy that you're watching this video. And the channel's really small right now, but I'm trying to make it into a hub. I was just saying that I really want to try to be able to build something for international students. It's a very niche topic, so there's not a lot of people talking about it. But I want to kind of be that person to pave the way and help other people that way. So if you have any questions, feel free to let me know, and I'll be really happy to help you out. Your comments mean everything, honestly, man. Like, just being able to help you guys out in the comment section is everything. Do me a favor, next time you watch one of my videos, if you need help with anything, literally if it's you're coming to Halifax and you need help moving in, I will help you move in. Hey there, Raghu, how are you? Thanks so much. Thanks for joining. I was just basically saying that, yeah, I wanna be able to help you guys in any way I can. I want to build this into a community, and I want it to go further than my channel. But I'm uploading 6 videos today. There's gonna be a lot of info in there. Tell me what you want to see more of, how I can make this channel better for you guys. Thank you, Karan. I really appreciate it. And also want to let you know, let's use this time to go over. If you'd like, I would go over my analytics, but I'll just tell you here. You know what? A lot of my subscriber base comes from other countries. It doesn't, like, I have, most of my viewers are from Canada, but after that, most of my viewers are actually from India, Nepal, and Bangladesh, and China. We have a lot of viewers coming in from China as well. So it's really cool that we're actually building up such a diverse community. It's just so amazing. Like, so many channels are usually like US channels, Canada channels, like, but this is that we're building something here that is for, it's for everybody, and I think that's incredible. And get this, we're students right now, but when we're done being students, who are we going to be? We're going to be great people. And when we're great people and we come from this background of working together, we can build something great. And you got admitted into Dow for health, and for informatics it was 2 years, but I'm just trying to bring your message back. Okay. Increase fees, so you're thinking to drop it. I totally understand that. Like, a lot of people tend to drop out of university halfway through because it's expensive, and that's really hard. And being in the health industry, a degree is pretty important for that. But they do have, I'm not too sure, but I think they may have nursing. So look at the nursing programs in Halifax. Again, I don't know if that's even related to your field. I'm not in the medical field, and that's obviously different. But there might be some transfer. You know what I mean? If you can get some medical degree or get your foot in the door, even get a qualification, you can find a way to squeeze your way in the door. If you want to work in health, what I recommend doing is try to come to Canada. Try to like find a job in the health sector that you don't need a degree for, save some money, get used to living in Halifax, and then when you're ready and you're all saved up, go ahead and you can get the degree. So there's no rush on getting a degree. Just understand that. If you spend that time now, you're going to be able to save a lot of money. Anyway, it's just a suggestion, but I would love to see you guys come to Halifax. And if any of you are arriving, let's get together. Let's have a coffee or something. Let's host some events. So I'm actually living with an international student this year, so I'm super excited about that, and I'm just really happy. Like, you could instead of, you could stay in India. That is an option. You could stay in India and do that. But what I recommend doing is, it doesn't have to be Halifax. If you want to be in Canada, like, ask yourself, do you want to be in Canada or do you want to be in India? If the answer is you want to be in India or you don't really care, then stay in India. But if you want to come to Canada, I would just make the move. Save a little bit and head right there and just go to Canada and work in the sector. Maybe not, don't start as a doctor and get your degree, or if you want to work in PR like you said, find some advertising agencies, and you might not work in PR, you might do ad campaigns, but then you could move into PR. Opportunities will present themselves, and PR is something, if you find people, they'll pay you for without a degree. So definitely find some way to get into there, and I know you can do it. Yeah. I see. Okay, yeah. So what you could do is you could do that in India. Um, I will talk. Is that better? Is this better audio? Right now I'm live streaming directly from my phone, and it doesn't have the best audio in the world. But I love how you guys are interacting with each other. That's amazing. Like, this is actually a place where we can help each other. So I'm really happy about that. And I definitely recommend, if you ask yourself where you want to work. That's going to tell you where to get the degree. If you want to work in Canada, get it from here. If you want to be able to, go back to your country and work there, then you can get it there. But what I recommend doing, if you want to move to Canada, make the move now. Just do it. And then, even if you can't get a degree because you can't afford it, just start working here. Ask where you want to end up in the job market. If you want to have a family, where you want to have that family. That's going to answer your question. And I will make a video on part-time jobs for Halifax students. In the video that I'm releasing today, actually all of them are done rendering. One of the videos is about how to work online, and another one of the videos is how to find a part-time job in Halifax. And the main thing I find it comes down to is get as many degrees as you can. Hey Nader, how hard is it to get a part-time job as an international student? Aroshi. Yeah, it's not hard. Like, it's not difficult. I know a lot of people who've gotten jobs within a week. In fact, the farmer's market, if you go around to the farmer's market and you ask all the vendors, you say, hey, I'll help you out for 11, 12, 13, whatever, minimum wage. I'm going to help you out, and I'll help sell vegetables. You can snack, you can go around, you can eat food there, you can sell with the farm vendors and learn about Halifax. So I had a friend who got a job doing that in less than a week. So you all have really strong work ethics. That's going to work out for you. Also try all the coffee shops and taxis. We're always looking for new taxi drivers. And I know these may not be your favorite jobs to start out with, but try doing that. That's going to help you out a lot. And it's just to build income and save something. And then when you have that finance in order, it's power. It's power to you. So that's what I recommend you do. Get any job you can get your hands on, and then you're working in Canada. You are working in Canada. So that's what I recommend. And if you have any other questions, feel free to email me. It's my first name at lastname.com. My channel name says my name, so first name at lastname.com. How to get started on YouTube. I just tried putting one unboxing video, but hardly got 20 views. I will help you with that. And what is the minimum wage in Nova Scotia? Ontario, it's $15 an hour. I think Nova Scotia is hovering around 13 or something, but don't quote me on that. I'm going to look that up, and I'm going to make a video on minimum wage. One quick Google search will tell you the minimum wage in Nova Scotia. How good is civil engineering at Dalhousie? It's good. It's one of the best university courses in Canada for civil engineering. Not the best. Same with masters in computer science. Not the best, but that doesn't matter, okay? It doesn't really, no one at the end of the day is going to choose you because you went to an Ivy League school over a Dalhousie school, because Dal is really good for both of those courses. What I recommend you do, internet networking at Dal, I don't know too much about, but in terms of all their computer and IT courses, they're really good. The main thing is to diversify yourself. Check out sites like Udemy that can help you with development, that can help you with IT. Try to expand your personal skill set while you go to school. Some of these more demanding schools, you have to complete the curriculum because it's so demanding. You don't have time for personal development. So it doesn't really matter where you go, as long as, my teacher once told me, it doesn't really matter where you go as long as you don't go to a random school called Jose's School and it's in someone's basement. So as long as you don't do that, you're okay. Do I know any co-op work permits? Also, how is Dal's Commerce Program? Okay, Dal's Commerce Program is really, really good from what I've heard. I heard Dal Commerce is really good. It's really popular. I hear people in Canada, people from all over Canada flock to their commerce program. What I have seen it lacking in is if you're just interested in e-commerce and you're like in Shopify, or you know a lot about commerce already, you might go there and be a little bit disappointed. But the degree in itself, if you want to work in commerce, is fantastic. So I do know that for a fact. And what do you know anything about co-op work permits? There are only 7 students in Master of Civil Engineering. Yeah, in terms of masters, there aren't many students in a lot of the courses. And a lot of the master's courses are actually supervised by supervisors who have PhDs. So you have to kind of take into consideration, in terms of engineering, I'm pretty sure you get like a mentoring program. But it's going to be helpful. See, what you're lacking in there not being like 500 students is, you know, getting to talk to other people. But what you get from it, the perks of this, is that you have a lot of one-on-one time and mentorship with actual people who are going to help you. It's expensive though. You're spending a lot of money, so you should expect to get somebody to help you. And you're probably going to have somebody with a lot of experience mentoring you one-on-one. So yeah, your mentor with a low score on Rate My Professor. I wouldn't give Rate My Professor all the, you know, all the hierarchy in the world. I understand. Engineering courses are tough and they get really difficult, and you really need to be able to, find a good professor. You often get to choose your supervisor. So see if you can. See if you can switch some things around. And Dalhousie doesn't need to be the be-all, end-all. You can go somewhere else. You can go in Ontario. Let me try to go back. I'm going to talk about the transferring university, but I want to make sure I answer everyone's questions. I don't know much about co-op work permits. I have been actually studying about the Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program, and I was going to make a video on that, but I'll add co-op work permits to my list, and I promise you I will talk about them. I'm answering most of the things, but I don't want to answer things I don't know too much about. Okay, transferring universities is a matter of just contacting the other university, letting your university know that you're transferring, and then finding out what it takes to be able to transfer. Sometimes some credits won't transfer, so you may lose a year of studying. So I don't recommend transferring around too much. It's better to stay in one place and finish the degree, get it out the way with consistency. But transferring is a process where you just have to send in your transcript. Every website has policies, every school has different policies, but they'll instruct you on how to transfer. In itself, it's not a hard process, but it's hard to make your degrees fit. Okay. So let's go back and see what else I can find in terms of your questions. I want to get as many as I can answered before I just head out and upload these videos. Okay, so I'm a student in Halifax, so I don't live in Halifax all year. I'm down with my family right now, and I'm working solidly for 4 months, and then I'm going back to Halifax. Now, will I be there once I've got my degree? I'm not too sure. I'm still testing the waters. But I still live in Halifax, and they're 8 months out of the year. I have my apartment down there. We're still subletting it. And then I'm going to be going back to Halifax in September or just before September. So in a couple months, those of you that are going, I'll be there with you too. The weather in Halifax, I have a lot of videos on the weather, so go ahead and look at those. But in terms of the weather, yeah, the weather's okay. The weather's okay. It's not too cold. People say it's freezing. Compared to India, yeah, it's really frosty. But in terms of like Ontario, it's not colder, but more precipitation, more snow, wet. The best thing I could describe Halifax as is really nice during the summer, exciting, but bleak. The word is bleak during the winter. It gets like kind of dull and moody, and it stays that way for a very long time. And then it gets wet, and it stays that way for a very long time. So that's the weather. Nothing too extreme. Bring warm clothes. No, don't bring them. You'll use your suitcase space, which you need for important items. But buy a jacket down here for the winter time. If you need help, go into a store and say, what should I get for the winter time? And they should be able to help you. Your Indian driving license in Canada, I'm not too sure. I honestly don't know. Some countries, it depends on the country you're coming from. I don't know about India because the regulations are somewhat different. In terms of the regulations between the US and Canada, I know they're more similar, or at least they think it is, so they allow it. So what I would do is actually I would honestly Google that because that's a policy thing. And if anything, call the Nova Scotia, whatever their driving service is called. I think it would be government run. Call them and just ask them. And if you want to be able to do international calling, you can buy Skype credit for like $3 or $4, and it'll cost you like 20 cents to make the call. G1 license questions and answers. Very easy. You're smart, Smit Doshi. You're very smart. So just go ahead and look up a YouTube video. They have free courses. This is the best advice to get your G1 license. I'm guessing you're going to Ontario. Yes, the Dow Fitness Center is free for students. If you're they built a new portion of the Dow Fitness Center. I haven't seen it yet because I'm in Ontario for a couple months. But it looks amazing. It looks incredible. It's so nice, and they've put new stuff in there. I have a rant about Dalhousie on this channel, but it looks really nice now. It looks better than a Good Life. They have a pool as well. So as long as you're a student, that's free. That's covered under your tuition. Let's go back because I was answering a question and I got sidetracked. Yeah, the G1 license questions and answers, they have a practice test with the exact questions on the internet. Look up G1 practice test and it'll say like, what does this sign mean? What does that sign mean? Can you make a left turn when you have a red light? Like stuff like that. And then you just do the test 2 or 3 times till you pass it with 100%. When you go into the G1 office, they're gonna have the exact same questions in a different order. I got my G1 license when I was like 16, and I studied for it that day. I only studied for that day, and maybe for 2 or 3 hours at the most, and kind of distracted. So you can easily get your G1 license, no problem. It's almost silly how simple it is. How to learn language course in Dow, free of cost if possible. Go to the Student Union building on University Avenue. Write it down now if you don't have a pen or pencil. And go to their desk and ask them. There are free English courses, and also look all over the walls. They tend to post flyers with free tutor sessions. Also, learning English is really easy if you get into the culture. So if I have friends from all over the world. One particular friend from Sweden she wanted to go to, let's see, no German, let's see. Okay, you want to learn German. There is okay, so German, I think there might be a German society. I would check that up. Look for a Dal German society, but also look on the walls like I recommended, and see being able to learn German. The only thing I learned in German is Ich fick deine Mutter mit ein Hubschrauber, which it's very bad, but I learned that in Germany, and I probably said it wrong. But go to Germany. No, find German students. When you meet more international students, just befriend a German friend. Guten Morgen. Yeah, good morning. Yeah, if you do that, it's really going to help you out to befriend somebody, and also to um, like look at German TV shows. That's a good way to do it for free. And then just bank off the free sessions you'll get at Dow. So I'm gonna see what other questions I could have. Yeah, Kiran, you know what? If you don't meet me now, I'll meet you someday. Like I'm planning a trip. Actually, I didn't want to say it on the channel just yet, but I am planning a trip to India in a couple of years. So I would like to maybe sooner than that. I have to see how things go, but it's a place I've always wanted to see because the food just it is delicious, and I've heard great things, and I have friends who've went, and they just said it's a great. It's such a and I like Bhangra music. It's I really got into it when I was DJing in Halifax. Some people said, "Hey, you gotta put this song on," and then I realized how much fun it was. So I want to come down. We will see each other eventually, I promise. But hey, why don't you just come down and work? I'll help you out. If you come down to Halifax and you don't go to university first, just make the move anyway. Work for a little bit, save. I can help you out through the city. You mix for fun too. That's good. What do you use? I had like a Pioneer controller, but the fee for Dow 21,000 for first year, and the second year, is it the same or lesser? I would say it's the same. Sometimes they even make it go up a little bit. So I'm gonna say $21,000. $21,000 is definitely probably a good bet. It's a little bit less than that, I think, but like for engineering, yeah, like probably $21,000, and for most international courses. Um, they told you $9,000. I don't think so. $9,000 sounds like it's for domestic students. I could be wrong, but I did do a video on yeah, international student fees. For second year, it's $9,000. That could be particular to the engineering course. So definitely check that out. Make sure you get it somewhere in writing or documented proof before you actually pay for the course. My parents are from, to answer your question, Chris, my parents are from England. So my mom was born and raised in England, but her parents are Guyanese, so Guyana. And my dad is Iranian, so he's Persian. So $23,000 Canadian for 2 years. Yeah, okay, so that's actually better than I thought. Like if it seems like in the first year they charge you about 20 grand, and then it's still expensive, but if they give you a break in your second year, that's pretty good. So I'm happy about that. See, the thing is they don't really mention with a fee breakdown over a 4-year period, but I'm actually going to send down an email and ask them that they do that, because there needs to be more concrete information out there. That's why I started making these videos, because there's not enough information out there. People are too scared to move here because they have no idea what's going on and no one talks about it. So Tractor and virtual DJ, didn't buy a console yet. Well, that's great. Keep DJing on whatever platform or whatever software you use, and I'm sure you'll keep killing it. I'm very proud of you. How to complete 21 credits for 2 years if one subject is 3 credits. You need to find out how they add up. How to complete 21 credits for 2 years. Yeah, you have to see how they add up. I was in my journalism program. It was just a pain in the ass to actually make my credits add up. So see how much it is. Call the academic advising office, because I can tell you, hey, this is how you add them up. You need to see what electives fit, what electives you're allowed. You have to build your schedule properly, and you build it using DAL Online. So again, use the Skype credit method that I've recommended. Go online and call in, ask people. Ask people at DAO Specifically, look online for Dalhousie's number, Dalhousie Academic Advising, and they have a number even for international students, I believe. Most universities do. It should be toll free. But if not, Skype credit less than $1 Canadian, you can have a full conversation and get your info. And if you don't want to do that, I will go and call them for you and record a phone call. Is getting a okay now when you're saying getting PR, I think I might be a little bit confused. Are you talking about like the PR industry, like public relations, or are you talking about something else? Just let me know what the acronym stands for so I make sure I have the right thing. I could be being silly right now. Okay, so whenever you do a PhD, there's never, I wouldn't say never. Actually, yes. Yeah, if you work in PhD, there's a good chance that the professor you're working with may permanent residence. Okay, now let me go back and answer your permanent residency won't be hard after you go ahead and finish your degree. If you finish your degree, I have a family member that works in immigration, and she says that I'm not sure if they're still doing it, but once you have your degree, it's very easy to apply to become a permanent resident in Canada. So that it's that easy, like snap that easy. Just make sure you save a little bit so you don't run out of money while you're here. And Canada's, I find it's way easier to immigrate here than the U.S. Now, getting permanent residency just randomly, I don't think it's very easy. There's documentation. I would look that up on the actual site, but I can tell you, you can definitely get permanent residence here if you do try. And if you have your degree, should be very simple for you. There's so many people. Hey, there are people all over Halifax. When you get here, there's going to be tons of permanent residents here. So just ask them, how did you get permanent residency? And they'll tell you like that. Hey, I came to school, I did this for 3 years. Just do what they do. It's very simple. You can definitely live here and make a life here. We're definitely looking for people like that. Is it difficult to get a good grade, Dell, or is it biased? No, it's easy to get a good grade if you put the work in. Sometimes you'll have teachers you don't really like, but just make sure you do the bare minimum at least. It's not hard. No, it's not hard. For those of you that haven't experienced Canadian universities, from the outside it looks a little bit pretentious, like it's going to be hard. Oh, university life is tough. You'll get here, you'll work hard. It depends what subject you're in, but then you're going to realize like, hey, actually it's not too hard as long as I do what I'm supposed to do. Before you know it, first year, second year, third year, you're looking at your grades and you're passing. As long as you put the work in, you'll be fine. And question from, okay, we'll do Chris's question. Is there any job opportunity after finishing a PhD at Dow? I think I basically touched on that, but you need to try to make contacts. So if you're getting a PhD, you're going to be going through a program with a lot of intensive, obviously, research and probably publishing along with that. Whether you're publishing a paper or not, try to find, like ask those people, how do I get a job as you're doing your PhD? There's a good chance, I would say it's a 50-50, whether your department will give you a job or not, or hook you up with one. I don't know if there's a job guarantee. You'll have to check with the department yourself, but if you're going into PhD, I'm sure you'll do your due diligence and your research. So, is there any job opportunity after... Yeah, we did that. Okay, Dae Hwan Kim, I'm getting backtracked a little bit. Hello, I'm a new international student going to Dalhousie. I'm just wondering, why are you doing this, helping international students? I'm so happy you asked that. Okay, so I'm somebody who really likes black and white things. I like things to be simple. And when I was going to university, I thought it was the most complex, difficult thing in the world. So I was applying to go to university, and I'm from Canada. And then I met a lot of international students, and they were struggling. And I started teaching courses online on Udemy. So I started talking to students. And then I made a video. I'm like, hey, I'm going to make a video about Halifax. That video to date has got 20,000 views. So I thought, hey, why am I making all these other videos when I could be helping people? People want to know about this. So that's why I make videos, because I help people. It makes me feel good. It makes other people feel good, it seems. And that's why I do it. And it makes me really happy. And also, I've always wanted friends like this, like to be... Instead of just like doing work like marketing and talking about how we can like get more clients or get more dollars, it's so nice to almost have like a family here and just have a conversation like this. It's amazing what the internet can do for us. Okay, so let's keep answering. You're welcome, Chris. I'm very happy to help you. If I get my permanent residency, my mom is questioning whether she can continue her teaching profession if she comes here in my permanent residence. So, yeah, that's a really good question. The answer is probably not immediately. And that's not a definite answer, it's not definitive. But I would say probably not because, like, I know a lot of people who, worked abroad as doctors and engineers, and when they came to Canada, they ended up driving taxis. That's just the sad part about it. What I would recommend doing is asking your mom or doing research for your mom and finding out how you can get her the qualifications in Canada or what she needs. Because if she can't become a teacher in a public school or a university, perhaps she can start tutoring for a company. So there are different ways. She might want to approach the corporate route instead of the, government mandated, you need a degree route. And she may even find that better. She might like that. Think of it as a new chapter. So how can I find a rented house for cheap other than Kijiji as I want to stay alone? What can be considered at the best price? Okay, Smith, Doshi, take out a pen and a pencil right now. I'm going to tell you, okay, we're looking for cheap. There is Fenwick. I wouldn't recommend it, not very good. There's Pepperell. There is London Housing is in Peterborough, but there is Killam. Killam Properties has some of the best ones, but it's more on the expensive side. What I would do is just look up the keywords properties to rent in Halifax or apartments in Halifax. Call all of them, and it's not necessarily about which one you should go to, it's about how do you see them all. Halifax isn't very big, so I'd look at every single apartment that is managed by a company. Do not get it from a shady landlord, get it managed by a company, like corporate, like Pepperell or Killam, or one of those larger companies. So if something goes wrong, you don't have to talk to Joe, the landlord. You can talk about the company. You can go to the company site. You can go to the Better Business Bureau. Corporations. That's how you should get your house. Buy it through a property manager, and that's gonna help you out a lot. Apartments, renting. I'm talking about. Definitely a good idea to rent that way instead of just flat out, going for the cheapest property on Kijiji. It'll really save you a lot in the future, a lot of heartache. Healthcare really is free in Canada. You're a permanent resident, and I think you're studying here as an international student, and you have insurance. I'm not sure how that would work for international students, but yeah, it is free in Canada. We pay taxes to cover it. So we're taxed at quite a high rate, nothing like the Scandinavian countries, but we're taxed at I believe 19% in Ontario, split between provincial and federal taxes, which cover universal health care. We do not have universal dental care yet, and I don't know if we will. So if you break a tooth or something, it's gonna cost you a lot. So don't break your teeth. You're very welcome. If I'm mispronouncing any of your names, let me know how to say it, by the way. And also, do you have any suggestions how to build your job network? LinkedIn. Get on LinkedIn right now. Start connecting with people in Halifax. Sometimes you need to connect with people in Halifax first in order to get more connections. Connect with me. Look up my name. Go add me on LinkedIn right now. I'll connect with you, and then you can connect with all of my Halifax connections. And there you go. You just expanded into a network. Next thing I want you to do, if you can, start blogging on LinkedIn. If you have the extra time. If not, do your best to just go to events. They have meetings, they have conferences, $10 a ticket. The Halifax Public Library has free talks. Make friends, get involved in their businesses once you get here. And look up Halifax businesses. Understand that a lot of Halifax's economy comes from properties and the fishing industry. And those things are going to help you because you'll understand the landscape more. Now, YouTube has a weird format for showing me... So you're getting a fake 1-year work experience from a no company from here. Will it lead to a problem? I'm not really sure what that means in terms of you're getting a fake work experience. But anything, also Nelton, I see your question as well. Does my chance of immigration increase through provincial immigration in Nova Scotia? 100%. Once you're here and you're an international student or you've just come to Nova Scotia, your chances of being able to actually immigrate are far more likely because A, you're here, B, you can get help from other Canadians that have immigrated and they're with you in Canada, and for a whole host of reasons it will become much easier. And the Atlantic provinces are very immigration friendly because they need people. What would be considered as the best price for international students? It seems to always be around 20, for tuition it's always around 20 grand, but yeah, for renting, it depends on your budget. Again, it's the same as domestic students, like it depends on how much you're willing to spend. You need to add up and see how much money you have in Canada. And I'd say as an international student, instead of having six months rent ready, I'd have a whole year of rent ready. So ask yourself, divide whatever your budget is by 12. So find out how much money you have, divide it by 12, and that's probably your budget, give or take. You should probably save a little bit more on top of that, because I want you to be safe and stay in Canada so you don't have to worry. I know it's not super feasible, so take your time. You don't need to rush it. So the fake one-year work experience, I don't recommend it. Like I'm not sure if I'm really understanding correctly, but if you're gonna fake work experience, it's not I have heard of Cisco exams. I don't know much about them, but I once made a testimonial, not a testimonial video, but an explainer video for a company that was teaching Cisco exams. And it was a lot of jargon I didn't understand. It was like, get verified in ATP. I was very confused, but I know what you're talking about. I have a good sense of what you're talking about. Um, I wouldn't okay, so fake verification isn't really a good idea, I think, because the company giving you the fake verification is going to, like fake as in false. Hi, Red Bolowski. Yeah, they're gonna actually end up charging you money for that. And if it's not real, if that's what you're saying, don't do it. Just tell your employer that you know how to do it. If they say, well, you're not certified, say, well, I know it's not that easy, but just tell them like, hey, you know what? I know what I'm doing. I know how to do it. Want me to prove it to you? You know, or get certified for real. Find a way to get certified. There's no point paying for something that doesn't have real value. Um, can we manage to survive? In terms of the FIFA World Cup, I am behind. I have to, before I cast my vote for that, I'm going to have to actually, I know who I want to win, who's going to win, I'm going to have to decide. Can we manage to survive for only the necessities by a budget of less than $1,000 per month in Halifax? Yes, but you will not have a ton of fun. Actually, no, yeah, you can do it. Halifax isn't very. I know friends who do it. So Halifax. I'm just thinking you're an international student. Don't come here with $1,000 and expect to stay here, because if one thing messes up, you will need to go back. And generally, when people run out of money, they go back home. So yeah, you can live for $1,000 a month. Yes, that's correct. You could do it, because if you find an apartment for $400, great. Your food, $200-300. Judging you're not going to buy tons and tons of expensive meat products and expensive vegan foods and stuff like that. You're gonna be fine. I promise you'll be okay. 1,000 is a good budget. Can a student work part-time before joining? Yeah, of course. I think you can. As long as it's covered in your work permit, you can easily. And also, Ragu, you're trying to get CCNP certified before I come there. Yeah, what I recommend doing is getting all the certifications you can, but I wouldn't spend all the money on it thinking it's going to lead to a job. So if you can get a certification that isn't going to break the bank, so you pay for it, I'm guessing you pay for these certifications, and it's not going to leave you broke, it's not going to take like a quarter of your savings, then yeah, get certified. It couldn't hurt. But if it's going to charge you arm and leg, not worth it. I'd say the certifications are going to slightly increase your chance, but I'm not going to bank on your industry, because I don't know too much. I don't know too much about your industry, so I'm not gonna go deeper with that. Park Victoria apartments versus Quinpool apartments. I hear Quinpool is one of the most fun places to be, and I think I've heard good things about Park Victoria, so it depends. I think Quinpool might be a little bit more expensive. I would look at prices and I go see them yourself. That's really going to help you out. Yeah, I think before joining Dollhouse, you can work on a part-time basis, but you need to like, I can't give you a direct answer to that, because that's going to be covered in when you're immigrating here or when you're coming to Canada. They're going to be able to tell you how you can work. So can you do it? Yes. I think there's a certain amount of hours you can work. So if it depends how you're immigrating. If you're coming as an international student, I'm pretty sure when school is out, you can work for I think 40 hours, 30 hours. I'm not entirely sure, but it's quite a bit of time. And when you're going to school, I think you're limited, capped to 20 hours. That's what I've heard from another international student, not a verified source, but I heard that from an international student. I think I've answered that correct. Yeah, like before joining, you can do it. Yeah, you can do it for 1 month. I'm pretty sure you can. But again, I would double check. So the answer is yes, but just verify it for me because I've only heard a little bit about it. So I would go at it saying yes, you can. Anyway, it's been 40 minutes, so it's been so nice talking to you guys. I'm so happy that you joined in the conversation. We're growing slowly, slowly. Next video's coming out. Leave some comments. If I'm uploading too fast, just let me know in the comments. I'll stop them. I actually listen to your guys' advice. And I know a lot of you by name now. Like I think like, hey, what are Rahul's doing, or like what, I think of it that way. So I'm really excited to be able to help you guys, and I'll do my best to answer all of your questions. And some students work 23 to 24 hours per week, regardless of. They do. You're right. Yeah, some students do work longer. You could probably do it and get away with it, but I would just double check. Like, you use your own common sense. I think you can do it. Yeah. All the documents for permanent residence, I don't know that. I'm not very good at bureaucratic stuff, but I'll make a video on it. I promise. If you get in trouble with dangerous animals, kick them. Yes, last one. Yeah, my hands are in pain. Actually, yeah, I went to the gym yesterday, so yeah, my arms don't feel so great, but holding the phone is okay. It's not. I switch hands a lot, and you guys take care as well. Thanks for staying here throughout the whole video. It really means a lot to me, and I wish you guys the best day, all the positivity. If I can help you with anything, like you're coming to Halifax, you need me to help you move your bed, I will be there. I'm not kidding. I'll get you a coffee or something. So I wish you guys all the best. Thank you.